So the man has been beating her consistently, like beating her. The other time, he even slashed her hand with a cutlass, and then now he has unalived her, and she's no more. And the one question that people keep asking is, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she go back to her father's house? Now, as easy as that question might be to ask, and as easy as it might just be to just assume that the woman just stayed there and bought everything, she could have just gone to her father's house and everything. As easy as that might sound, but there are quite a number of factors that might have caused that woman to stay there and endure all it is that that man has been doing to her. 3 things came to my mind. 3 reasons why a woman could have stayed, even despite all the beatings and the violence, why she would have endured all these things for that long until her life was ultimately taken. Number 1, is there even a home for her to go back to? Is there even a home at all for her to run back to? What if there is no home for this lady to return to? What if this lady has no parents? What if she's an orphan? And I know the next thing you will ask is that, what about siblings? Doesn't she have siblings or relatives or people who even care about her or something? But do you know that there are many people who do not want to be burdens to others? There are many people who life has taught to handle their situations by themselves. There are many ladies who became independent very early in life by circumstance. Many of them have been able to by themselves navigate their ways through life, maybe through hawking or through doing one thing or the other, some menial jobs and all that, and finally they've gotten married now, and somehow they've gotten a home that they can call their own. So looking back, there is nowhere for them to go back to. Even if some of them have siblings, these siblings may be married with their own children, with their own problems. So these women may at times decide that, I can't go and become a burden to my siblings. I can see what they themselves are going through. Let me just bear my own wahala, and hopefully it will change for the better one day. Unfortunately, it doesn't. And then in the end, the woman loses her life. Number 2, the home where they are coming from might even be worse than the home where they are at the moment. See, there are many ladies who have been praying to God, let me leave this family house. Let me leave the house of my parents, because there is no love for them in that family. There are many homes that are torn apart, that children are begging and wishing that people will come and adopt them and take them out of that home. Now, if such a lady in that kind of family gets married, you think that she will ever want to go back to that house? Homes where the father is maybe a drunk or is somebody who is an addict or something, and he beats the mother, and there is no peace, there's no joy, there's no love in that kind of family. Children want to quickly escape. In fact, many ladies see marriage as an escape route from such families. So by the time they get married and then there is now a repeat of what is happening in their homes, they will feel like, this one is my own, oh, this one is my own to bear. I cannot go back to that family house. So most times it might be because back in the home where you are expecting them to run to, there's also no love there. So they rather just stay and endure the one that life has dealt them. Number 3, some parents have warned their daughters after marriage. Say, you see this family, we don't used to leave our husband's houses, so we don't used to divorce, we don't used to separate or whatever. So as you are going, don't come back to this house. See, I'm telling you the truth. Some parents will give their daughters that note of final warning. Say, don't come back. In our family, in our culture, we don't have this kind of thing in our family or in our lineage. People don't come back home. So as you are going, do everything that you can to stay in that family. Whatever is happening, resolve your matter. It is you and your husband. You are the one that will take care of that home. In fact, many women are even blamed for whatever happens in their home. Many women from their families are blamed that it's because you did not keep your home well. That's why your husband is doing this to you. So many of them, just to abide by what their parents have said, or just to abide by the kind of culture that their parents have set and say, in our culture we don't have to do this or that, they would rather just stay there, because they don't want their parents to now start calling them bad names, now be as if they are the bad eggs or the black sheep of the family. Every other person in my family have married and stayed in their husband's houses. Why will it now be me? that will now marry and I'll now start going back to my father's house. So you can see that alone can make a woman to stay and endure all the things that are going on in the home until it might even lead to her ultimate death. Number 4, some ladies have used their marriages to mock their friends. Some ladies have, because they have gotten married, now begin to laugh and mock their friends who are married. Some will now feel like they have arrived, like they have achieved what their friends cannot achieve. So the first thing they will do is to separate from those friends who were there for them all the while they were not married. In fact, some of the ladies, even in church, some sisters who they went to vigils with, who they did fasting and prayers with, that God should bless them with husbands, and in the end, when they get their husbands, they now create a gap between themselves and those ladies, because to them now, they've now gone above the level of these ladies. And many of them will even use the marriages to want to pepper their friends. They will post on social media, they will post their statuses, post this and that, just so that their friends will see how well their life is going now, and their friends will be peppered. There are many ladies who have done this. So by the time the marriage now starts showing them pepper now, and the husband is threatening their lives, they will now decide, see, whatever happens, I get here. Because the moment they go back, they now become an object of ridicule from those same friends that they have mocked because they got married before them. So because of that shame, some of them will remain in that home. They will remain there. Whatever is going on there, they will stay there, and whatever happens, it doesn't matter. So this one is an advice for most young women. The fact that you got married before your friends, I know that marriage is an achievement. I know that marriage is another height in life. I understand. But let it not now begin to make you to feel pompous and begin to mock those of your friends that are not yet blessed with a man of their choice. Humble yourself. Make yourself approachable by your friends. Now marry you know, be God. Nobody knows tomorrow. Nobody knows what will happen in the next minute. Don't mock those who you got married before them. There's no need for that. Because in the end, when something begins to happen like this, shame no go gree you komoto. Shame no go even gree you leave, or even cry out to the world and tell the world what you are going through. Simply because you have mocked those who would have and separated from those who would have been your comfort place, those who would have gone and rest your head upon their shoulders as your friends, who would have rallied around you and helped you out and given you advice. You have mocked them and you've separated them from your lives, and so now you have to stay in that home because you don't want to face any ridicule from those people who you yourself have ridiculed in the past. Finally, most times it is that people warned you about that man. It might even be your parents, it might even be the siblings that may have warned her about that man. People may have warned her and told her that, see this man, we know him, or see this man, we do not see him to be a good person, or see this man, the way we are looking at him, this man is not a good man, or he's not a God-fearing man, he's just pretending. Maybe they might have warned you from your family. Maybe your parents might have done everything they can do to tell you to stay back, but you have seen them as enemy of progress. They are the ones that don't want you to advance in life. So because of that, you stubbornly go into the husband's house. You know, many a times some women even go without their parents' blessings. Because, see, forget some parents actually see things that we cannot see. I know some parents are just very difficult, but there are some that God has actually blessed with foresight. Some things that God might even reveal to your parents. You understand? They may be telling you, say, this man, we are not seeing godliness in him. We are not seeing this man, you may regret. And then you stubbornly go and marry. So now that the man is dealing with you, simply because they've warned you before, you would now, because of shame, not want to go back to your family house or to your father's house because they warned you. But now I want you to remember a story in the Bible. There was a young man who the Bible called the prodigal son. His father warned him, don't go, stay back. But he refused. He took all his money and he went and he spent everything. And then when hunger began to deal with him, he said, I will arise and I will go back to my father. And when he went back to his father embraced him. His father even made a party for him because the father said, this my son was once lost, now he is found. So see, there are many of our parents who God has blessed with the fear of God. No matter what happens, They will always welcome you with open arms. They will always welcome you back in their houses, and they will still take care of you. You are their daughters. If anything is going on in that home, be bold enough. Forget shame. Forget whatever is going on. See, shame is not what's your life. Oh, forget shame and everything, and go back to your father's house. Go back there, and from there you can relax and sit down and begin to plan your life afresh. Listen to me. A broken home or divorce is not a death sentence. You can always pick your life back again, because as long as there is life, there is always hope, and there is always what we call a second chance.